Twitter Inc. was founded on the 21st of March back in 2006 by a group of young Americans. The members include Noah Glass, Biz Stone, Evan Williams, and the most noticeable one would be Jack Dorsey. Just like most social media conglomerates, Twitter's headquarters is based in San Francisco, California, and has more than 25 offices around the world. If you don't know how Twitter works, here's the short version. Registered users on the platform can post, like, and retweet tweets. And similar to Instagram, Twitter users have both followers and followings shown on their profile. In today's society standards, the more followers you have, the more famous you are, while unregistered users only have the limited ability to read public tweets. With all the Twitter drama recently, this video would briefly explain how the drama unfolded, while at the same time discussing how Twitter's revenue and expenses has a direct correlation with the recent layoffs, so stay tuned.
You are now watching the White Obsidian Channel.
When Twitter hit its 230 million monthly active user milestone back in June of 2013, it was announced that they will be listing on the New York Stock Exchange on the 15th of November of that year, with an IPO price of $41. And from there, Twitter's market cap grew from its original $22.6 billion to its highest point of $61.5 billion back in 2021, right before the COVID-19 pandemic. As of right now, Twitter's market cap has shrunk by roughly 33% to around $41.1 billion. To put that into perspective, the stock price of Twitter has only grown by 30% in 9 years, with an average of 3.3% annual growth. And most of this has to do with Twitter's revenue and expenses, which we will take a look at them later in the video. The whole Twitter fiasco started when Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of 3 multi-billion-dollar companies, had hinted towards buying Twitter when it was worth $44 billion with a bid, adding into his profile of owning 4 multi-billion-dollar companies in total. Just 3 months later, Musk backed out from the deal, resulting in Twitter suing him, and Musk sued back. Another 3 months later, he changes his mind and bought Twitter at the original price of $44 billion on the 28th of October 2022. Musk has the original plan to transform Twitter into a more transparent and well-trusted platform, eliminating issues such as bot spamming,
"We hate Pam! We hate Pam! We hate Pam! We hate Pam!"
account faking someone else, and implementing other features such as the verified blue tick checkmark that will cost $8 per month. In well over a month after taking over the company, Musk has laid off over half of the company's 7,500 workers, while pushing the remaining employees to quickly build and launch new products, forcing the company into what he quoted, "hardcore mode." With the aim to restructure the company by removing redundant workforce and middle managers, Musk certainly went overboard with the action of firing people without any prior notice or following any proper layoff procedures. This includes workers who weren't aware that they had been fired, coming back the next day and found out that they were unable to log into their computers. Musk's reason for laying off workers was due to a sharp decline in ad revenue as advertisers fled from the social media platform right after he took charge of the company, which also resulted in Twitter losing over $4 million every single day since. Before Musk was the CEO of Twitter, the platform was actually losing money for almost every single year since its inception, although revenue was in the billion-dollar range. But from the table here, you can see that Twitter remained unprofitable for a second year in a row in 2021. Same goes to the other years as mentioned here. Twitter divides its revenue into 2 main categories: the sale of advertising services, which constitutes the vast majority of the company's revenue, closing up to 85%, and the other one being data licensing to other businesses. Going into ads, it can be split into 3 types: promoted ads, follower ads, and trend takeover ads. Promoted ads are regular tweets that advertisers purchase to get their product or tweet to reach a wider audience. These will pop up from your timeline even if you don't follow the brands, and cost around 50 cents to $2 per action. Follower ads would suggest fellow Twitter users' accounts to follow based on their interest and would cost $2 to $4 per new follower. And lastly, the trend ads. These are usually seen as the top tweets or hashtags on Twitter's trend page. To promote these types of ads, it would cost you a hefty $200,000 per day. When it comes to the remaining 15% of Twitter's revenue source, that would all go to data licensing. To put that into perspective, it is accounted for approximately $760 million of revenue in just 2021 alone. Here, Twitter sells data insights on trends and user demographics for both real-time and historically. Pinterest and Facebook, which is now called Meta, also uses similar revenue models. As time passes and more data is gathered from users using their platforms, data licensing as a revenue source has the potential to increase many folds, especially in a consumer-centric world. Now Twitter sells its public data, which it's called Firehose, and that amounts to 500 million tweets per day to various companies. And these companies can further on utilize these datas to analyze consumer trends and generate insights about brands and companies. Since tweets and hashtag trends are publicly seen on the platform, normal users can also have access to these data, but it would be a far cry when compared to the volume of data that companies take in for analysis purposes. And of course, these analyzing tools need to be sophisticated enough to process these large amounts of data too. Meanwhile, back in November when Musk took over Twitter, Twitter Blue was rolled out as a form of subscription service that allows users to undo a tweet, among other notable features. As of now, Twitter Blue is only available in 4 countries for both iOS and Android, and would cost you around $8 per month. Since Twitter Blue is an opt-in service, users who don't subscribe to it are still able to use Twitter for free. Musk also stated that he has the goal to reduce Twitter dependency on ads as a revenue source by adding a slight fee for commercial and government users. With that in mind, he aims to grow Twitter revenue to around $26 billion by 2028 from $5 billion back in 2021. Moving on to the expenses part of Twitter, nearly a third of Twitter's costs are tied to running its data centers. These include the likes of leasing, maintenance, energy, bandwidth cost, and compensation for operations staff. Research and development by engineers to create new products and services holds around 30% of Twitter's total expenses. The next 22% of expenses accounted for is through sales and marketing. These are compensation for employees in sales, commissions, business development, communications, and customer service roles. While the rest of the expenses are eaten up by the bread and butter of any companies in today's modern society, general and admin. That includes employees from finance, legal, IT, HR, and other administrative roles. In short, the total expenses are around 124% of Twitter's total revenue, making Twitter a company that keeps on losing money. Although ads and data licensing were only taken into account as revenue, what about the potential of the new Twitter Blue that costs $8 per month for every verified user? Well, that barely makes a dent on Twitter's revenue, to be honest. At this moment, there are a total of 300,000 verified users on the platform. Assuming that each of these users would pay $8 every month to maintain their verified status, which is a very unlikely situation, that would mean a total of $28.8 million of income per year just from Twitter Blue alone, but barely make any significant presence to Twitter's $5 billion revenue back in 2021. And because of that, Musk, being the CEO, had decided to take matters seriously, where half of Twitter's workforce has been laid off, as mentioned earlier. Musk also reportedly cut thousands of contractors and even fired several employees who criticized him publicly. In an email sent out by Elon Musk himself to his Twitter employees, quoting, "Will need to be extremely hardcore. This will mean working long hours at high intensity. Only exceptional performance will constitute a passing grade." Afterwards, he also pitched to investors proposing a cutting of staff by nearly 75%, further fueling uncertainties regarding Twitter's future. As of right now, Twitter has been delisted from all stock exchanges since it is now privately owned by Elon Musk. The only way to buy Twitter stocks right now is through existing investors via IOB or the International Order Book under the symbol OQZB. While Twitter begins restructuring its hierarchy and finances, only time will tell whether Elon Musk can emerge as the savior for Twitter and bring the social media platform back on its feet again by making it a profitable company in the future.